Welcome to another edition of Sports Chronicles. I'm Crystal Stone, and I'm here with the crew, Adrian Carvajal, Keon Cage, and our special guest, Alexis Davis. Kobe doing work, 2-4 on my shirt. That's right, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. And luckily for us, our crew just happens to be hip-hop culture gurus. So they'll walk us through the influence that hip-hop has had on sports. And there's been one particular position in the NFL that's been having a really tough go at it. We'll talk about the state of NFL running backs, plus way too early NBA Finals predictions. But first, Keon, you say that there's one particular NBA player that epitomizes the merging of hip-hop and sports. Who is that?
We can't talk about sports and hip-hop without talking about the answer, the 75-7 legend, Allen Iverson. The cornrows, the tattoos, the sleeve, we didn't care about what shoes, what were you wearing before the game until Allen Iverson pulled up on the scene in Philadelphia. Allen Iverson he could be in the studio with somebody, he could be on the court. He brought both worlds together and made the game of football and basketball entertainment. Because when you go to football, when you see the Kiki, do you love me? That's hip hop.
Kiki.
Are you riding? Of course.
And Alexis, to that end, you say that Allen Iverson has forever changed how we view athletes off the court. How so?
Yeah, I mean, even when you look at pregame, before it was just about the warm-ups, but now it's about the walk-in pictures. Teams are hiring photographers to photograph these walk-in pictures so that we can see from head to toe, the Balenciagas, everything. We want to know what they're wearing beforehand. And now we even have these actual social media pages. We have League Fits, we have Slam that are focusing on these athletic outfits. And then also, a lot of these brands are really maximizing this whole thing when it comes to clothes, because before we didn't care about the shoes, but now that we care about athlete shoes, that's allowing them to make more money. Now they have their signature shoe deals where they're now making 5% of each shoe.
Now, let me just share something with y'all. Adrian really likes to share his favorite hip-hop lyrics with me since we've been here in grad school, and sometimes I'm impressed. And sometimes I'm absolutely appalled. So, Adrian, I think you are the perfect person to go in on this. How have sports influenced hip-hop lyrics?
Yeah, it's been that way since as long as I can remember. I mean, I'm born in 2000, so I'm a little bit younger, but it's been there all the time. You know, Biggie, Weezy with Lil Wayne, and now with Drake. You know, Drake is the biggest artist probably in hip-hop right now, and arguably the world. And a couple of his songs, I mean, he's referenced numerous times, but we're going to get into 3 specific times that he's referenced basketball players. And I guess we'll start with the first quote that he has right here, if we can bring it up.
Let's bring up that hip-hop lyric. Go ahead.
No, even if we don't have it. Okay, I've been with Steph Curry with the shot, been cooking with the sauce, Chef Curry with the pot boy. Come on, man. We all know what he's talking about. Steph Curry. I mean, come on. He used to do a little celebration, a little stir in the pot. I mean, James Harden, cooking. He's cooking. So, of course, Drake had to throw that little bar in there with Steph Curry. One of my favorite bars in 0 to 100. If you guys know, you know. And we'll go on to the next quote. How I go from 6 to 23 like I'm LeBron. Another Drake one. I mean, they're all going to be Drake today, but how I go from 6 to 23 like I'm LeBron. This is actually relevant right now. As we know, last week LeBron changed his number back from 6 to 23 again. He seems like he does that pretty often, switching them back and forth. But he will be number 23 this upcoming season for the Lakers. I'm a Laker guy, so I'm excited for it. It's kind of caught me a LeBron jersey. And the last one, From Florida with Love, Drake again. Weezy played that for me and Kobe on the bus. Yeah, Weezy, Lil Wayne. This is a reference to Lollipop, the song, one of Wayne's biggest hits in 2007. He actually played the song for Drake and Kobe while they were on the bus together after one of Kobe's games. So it's just, you know, seeing this merging of hip hop and how long it's been going on, and seeing, you know, from when Kobe was in the league to when Drake was barely starting in rap to how many years later he's still continuing to do this. It's just awesome to see, and it's always been around, and it's going to continue to keep coming around with more and more rappers and the influence of hip hop in sports.
Yeah, well, you know, my tastes are a little bit different. I tend to listen to a lot of Christian hip-hop, so my favorite artists are Lecrae, Andy Mineo, KB, and I've been noticing how their music is being more brought into NBA broadcasts, ESPN broadcasts, so I think there's an emerging in that particular genre as well. But fellas, lady, hear ye, I like to call to order the state of the NFL running back. We have noticed over the past few weeks, there has been a lot of talk about how NFL running backs are not getting that big-time money. Giants Saquon Barkley just settled with a $10 million franchise with the organization. But then the very next day, the Giants signed Andrew Thomas, their left tackle, to a 5-year, $117 million deal. Okay, it's the shade for me. To that end, Chargers running back Austin Eckler called together a Zoom call, bringing about a dozen running backs across the league to talk about how their position is being devalued. And Steelers running back Najee Harris said that running backs are valued, they just don't want to pay them. So, Adrian, to that point, do you believe that running backs in the NFL are actually being devalued, or is this just a natural evolution of the sport going from a running first game to a passing league?
Yeah, I think they're still valued. It's just, they're not. It's more of a passing game, like you're saying. It is becoming more of a passing game. I feel like with the wear and tear that these running backs do put on their body every single night for 16 weeks, 17 weeks now, even more weeks now. We got 17 games. But, yeah, they deserve to be paid better. It's crazy to me that, some guys in the NBA that I think are scrubs are making double, triple of what, the best running back in the game, Saquon Barkley, one of the best, arguably one of the best, is making. So it's kind of criminal to me, but until they, fight for that change. And, I mean, like we said, the last couple Super Bowl champions, Isaiah Pacheco wasn't a top star in the league, at least at the running back position. Sony Michel with the Patriots a couple years back was not one of the top running backs in the position. So it's kind of tough because, yes, there are high-level running backs, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, and they're putting up numbers and helping their teams win and compete. But when you look at who's actually winning, when it matters most at the very end of the season, the running backs aren't the top-level running backs, so they're not as important, I feel like, and that's why the league has been able to get away with not paying them as much as they should be getting paid.
Is this fair, Keon?
Man, no, Adrian's wrong. I don't know why you talking all that nonsense. The game of football starts with the running game. When you first play, running the ball. And when you end the game, you want to run the ball to run the clock out. And if you want to pass, you need to do a bootleg. And how you do a bootleg, you need to run the ball. If you want players to fall for the fake, you need to be able to run the ball. So you need the running back. And when the quarterback is in trouble in the passing game, who you pass it to? Check down to the running back. The running back is not only your running back, but he's another receiver. So he's basically doing two positions. Name another position in the league that does multiple things like the running back. So running backs deserve to get paid because they touch the ball so much and they impact the game. They start the game and they end the game. So they're very crucial to the game of football.
Now, to that end, you say that they're crucial, but some recent reporting from Spot Rack came out with some salary information. Kickers in the NFL, on average, make more than running backs by almost $1 million. Alexis, is that right? I mean, what is your thoughts on the state of the NFL running back?
Yeah, Crystal, I mean, I have 2 points for you. So first, I would just say the running back is basically the second person on the team that touches the ball right under the quarterback. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm showing up to work and I'm working 24 hours. Someone else is showing up to work, they're working 12 hours. But this person that's working 12 hours is making more than the 24-hour woman. Well, man in this instance, because we're talking about football, but who knows, we're excelling. With this 12-hour shift, they're making more than my 24-hour shift. And just because, the running backs may not be the major playmakers, they are the facilitators. And without the facilitator, you, just like you're in a GPS, you're in that car, you do not get from said point A. Siri does not say that you're at said point B without that facilitator. My second point goes to recently what's going on with the Colts franchise. So we see everything that's playing out with Jonathan right now and how he is going back and forth with his owner. Now, one thing I will say about this, it really translates to where we are in the times, because usually you have to wait to that Sunday paper to figure out, oh, what's going on with my Colts. Now you go on Twitter and they're hashing it back. And also with the NFLPA, they're saying that they want to start having franchise tags with no position agreements. And I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I disagree. But my favorite thing about all of this is that it's in people's radar and players are beginning to speak up for themselves. So now it's our responsibility as journalists to speak up for them. But now they're giving their own selves platforms by using their social media.
Yeah, and I actually think my take on this is I agree. Running backs are very important to the offense. we're both Dallas Cowboys fans. I'm thinking about, hey now, no slander. But I'm thinking about Emmitt Smith and how important and how impactful he was to the Cowboys winning those Super Bowls. If he didn't play, we wouldn't have had those Super Bowls as Cowboys fans. But to that point, I think that what will help running backs more is if they let them come out of the college level earlier, maybe a year or two season earlier, to allow them to get that maximum earning potential, because they hit their peaks sooner than a lot of other positions. They take a lot more beating than a lot of other positions. So I think there has to be multiple factors at play to sort of help move this thing along. But let's move on to the next topic here, all right? Summer League is behind us. We're kind of sitting at this purgatory in the NBA. Nothing's really happening right now, which I think is the perfect time to have way too early predictions for the NBA Finals. These two fellas here seem to have different views on who's going to win the championship next year. And folks, get your popcorn ready, because I'm going to have mine ready. Keon, who's going to win the championship?
Well, while she get her popcorn, I'm going to tell you why the Boston Celtics are going for 18 this year, and it's because of three people. Jason Tatum, 6'8", 6'9" guard. He can play any position on the court. Averages about 25 points. He put up his assists in the playoffs. He averaged about 5 assists. So he's doing everything. He's almost like your point guard, your scoring guard, whatever you need him to be. Number 2, Jaylen Brown, the one that just got paid, the moneymaker, the highest paid player in the NBA right now. And for that, because he averages about 25, he can get every bucket you can think of. He's almost like a Dwayne Wade, you can say. Almost a better version and a taller version of Dwayne Wade. Then the Celtics made a big move in the offseason by getting a 7'3" big man, Kristaps Porzingis, who can shoot, who had his best season last year. He averaged 23 points. He nearly shoots 40% from the field. Then he traded away Marcus Smart, which was a big blow. But you got Derek White, who's averaging about 15, 16 points. He's going to give you points and play defense. He gave you a couple of blocks, surprisingly, for someone that's 6'5". Then you got Malcolm Brogdon come out the bench, who's the top three-point shooter in all the NBA. So you got everything you need. Who can beat this team? And we in the East on top of that. So we don't got to go through the Jokic. We don't got to go through Kevin Durant.
Okay, so Keon won, right?
Nah, hell no. All right, so basically, let me just debunk everything he just said. Jaylen Brown being an almost better version of Dwayne Wade is cap. Dwayne Wade carried the Miami Heat to their first championship, almost single-handedly. Shaq was older. Jaylen Brown don't even got a left hand. Okay, he can't even go left. So he's definitely not anywhere close to Dwayne Wade ever was. Okay, highest paid player, congrats on him on that. Develop that left hand, let's see you get a little bit better, because a lot of times there's a lot of turnovers in their series. Kristaps, let's see if he stays healthy a whole season, especially in the playoffs. I know that's an issue with my Lakers and Anthony Davis, but they were healthy, they were looking good, they got right. And that's why they're going to be my pick to win the 2024 NBA championship. LeBron, he's old. But he's still averaging 25 a night. He's still averaging 25 a night. You're talking about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown averaging 25 a night. LeBron was putting up 40 in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals at 38 years old. Like, nobody's doing it like him. Everybody gonna act like, it's LeBron, he's old. He takes care of his body better than anybody else. And yes, he's been injury prone the last couple years, but when he gets right and he gets into that mode in the playoffs, it's over. And we've seen it. We beat two teams that we probably shouldn't have beat in the Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies. Ran into a juggernaut in the Nuggets. But we got better than last year. Gabe Vincent, that we signed from the Miami Heat, one of the best three-point shooters in the playoffs, now could be our starting point guard potentially. We're bringing back Austin Reeves, who I think is one of the most underrated players in the league. Yes, he gets a lot of media attention, but a lot of people like to clown him just because they're like, well, he's on the Lakers, that's why he gets all this hype. He's a good player. He's a great player. Rui Hachimura, man, signed him, we re-signed him too. Traded for, it was in that trade for Kendrick Nunn this past season, got Rui Hachimura. Dude was putting up 20 in the playoffs, man. So he's going to be back. AD's going to be healthy. We're going to be nice. We added a lot of depth. We're going to win the 2024 NBA championship. That
was hot. That was fire. Does anyone want any popcorn while we're at it? We're going to wrap that up. Here you go. Pass that around. Everyone, that is it for this episode of Sports Chronicles. And it's actually the last for myself, Adrian, and Keon, as we are all graduating from Cronkite and moving on to better things. However, don't worry, Alexis Davis will be back, and you can see a lot more of her soon. So thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you again next time.